Hi friends, today we're going to make something that I really enjoy doing, which is anything Disney really. And we're going to make Sisu from the last Disney movie, Raya and the Last Dragon. But also if you want me to make Raya, just let me know by thumbs up under this video so that I know, and I will be really pleased to do it as well for the next video. But let's jump in onto the video where we're going to start making the adorable Sisu. The cake that I'm going to use to make my dragon is a plum cake size, but because it's too wide, I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to round it not only at the top but even at the bottom of it. Then I'm going to cut it in half so that I can fill it with my delicious buttercream. And once we're done, we can cover again with the top layer and cover with a thin layer of buttercream to make sure that we're not gonna have any crumbs while working with it. Then I'm gonna put it in the fridge for a couple of hours and cover the whole cake with another layer of buttercream again to make sure that it is nice and smooth. Now it's time to start making all the decorations, which is actually the best part. And what we want to do is to grab a piece of big fondant, which is going to be the tail of our dragon, and the color needs to be blue with just a tiny bit of green. And to do the tail, what we're gonna do first of all is starting making a cone and then making it longer and longer, because this dragon has a very long tail. At the bigger part of the tail, what we want to do as well is to make it even wider with our fingers, because it needs to be of the same size as of the cake. Make sure to check the size from time to time, and then once you're happy with it, just leave it attached onto the cake. And then put it forward and give this nice and round shape as well. The next step that we want to do is to cover the whole cake, and therefore we need to roll our fondant first. Make sure that it is of the right size and that can cover the whole cake with it. But if it is too long, just cut all the extra fondant and make it all nice and straight at the same time. Now let's pick it up and put it on top of the cake, and make sure to tap in the fondant at the bottom as well, and then cut all the extra fondant that we're not going to need. Now to get rid of that line between the tail and the body, what we need to do is to rub a little bit of butter on top of this line so that our fondant is going to get nice, smooth, and it's going to look like it is actually all one piece. And you also might want to use your leaf shaper or your fingers. That's up to you, wherever you think it is actually best. Now that the body has been done, the next step that we're going to do is making the legs. First we're going to start with the front ones, and we're going to start from long sausage, and then we're going to leave a little bit for the foot, and we're going to thin the part of the ankle. Let's press a little bit and let's put it frontally so that we can cut just kind of piece of triangle from the foot, which is going to make sure that the foot is going to be a lot better. So we can flat this part, and then we're going to cut to make the thumb, and then we're going to make other two cuts to make the other three fingers. Then we can pick it up and round each finger really carefully, as they're really small and really difficult to handle. Then we're going to draw a line halfway between the ankle and the end of the leg, and then we're gonna fold it and pinch it to make a little bit more square. As you can tell, the part of the top leg leg is a little bit too big, so I want to make it a little bit smaller and thinner. And now we can put it at the front of our cake. But also what you want to make sure is to lift the part of the ankle a little bit up, so that it's going to look nicer and it's going to look a little bit more realistic as well. Before adding the nails to each foot, what we need to do is to make a hole in each finger, and only afterwards we can add some ovals of really small black fondant. The back leg instead is just a tiny bit different, but again you want to start making a long sausage, then where the wider part is, just press it. And this is the top of the leg. Then we want to make the other part a little bit thinner, and we want to make a line in the middle of it and pinch it. So this is the kind of knee. Then make it thinner again, the part of the bottom leg, and make another cut and fold it again and pinch it to make the foot. So as you can tell, it is again very similar, however it is just a little bit different compared to the other one. Then we're going to make 2 cuts to make 3 fingers. Let's round them really nicely and really delicate. And what we need to do again is to make 3 holes and add 3 small ovals of black fondant to make the nails. Let's add now the back legs as well onto the cake, and to attach them, just press them really gentle. From this ball now we're going to make the head, which I always love to make heads because they're the things that are going to make a big difference on a cake or on a cake topper. And the first thing that we want to do is to make a cone. Then the end of it, what we need to do is to make it a little bit more curved, and at the end of it we want to draw the mouth, which is not straight, but you want to make a little bit curved like this. And then let's draw as well each side of the mouth. Meanwhile, open it a little bit more. Let's make it a little bit more nice and smooth, as at the moment, because we cut it, is not really as it should be. I've noticed that the top of where the nose is a bit flat, so we need to make it flat with our fingers. And at the top of it, it's a little bit round, so just to use your fingers again to make this kind of shape at the top. Using the leaf shaper on the other side where it is pointed, we want to make the nostrils. And you don't want to make 2 holes, but just they're kind of ovals really. On the inside we're going to add a small piece of black fondant, which is flat, and it's going to cover the whole lower mouth. And again, on the inside we're going to add another oval, which is pinky red kind of color, and in the middle we're going to draw another line. To add the teeth, we're going to make lots small white triangles, and we're going to put 5 of these triangles at the bottom of the mouth, and then 4 on each side, and then 4 at the top, and then other 4 on each side again. It's starting to look really nice and more alive, which is really great. At the top of the nose we want to make some edges using our fingers, and then what we're going to do next is to draw the eyes. So they're having kind of a leaf shape, and this is the first thing that you want to do. First of all, then when making the eyes you want to draw them, then you either want to push the fondant on the inside or either remove it if it is too much, and in my case actually I prefer this time to remove it as the fondant was quite a lot. Then you want to smooth this part again nice and easily. And then on each side of the eye we want to insert some white fondant, which then needs to be as similar as possible, of the same size as the eye that we just done. And also they don't have to have any gap all around between the white fondant and the blue fondant. The next step that we want to do is to paint the eyes. And I've noticed that this Sisu dragon has purple eyes, so I'm going to paint first of all a very dark purple all outside and then a very light purple on the inside. The next step is to paint the pupils, and this time we're going to use some black gel paste, which of course they need to be of the same shape of the irises, however they need to be smaller. And then we need to fill the whole pupil with the black edible paste. All around the eyes we want to paint with the black gel paste as well, to make the eye a little bit more pop out and be more nicer as well. And once everything is dry, what we want to do as well is to add a small dot of white color between the pupil and the iris. To draw the eyebrows I'm using first of all a blue color first, and then on top of it I've used the black. But as you can tell, we're not going to draw this time a thick line, but just a small little lines instead. So our head is been done. What we need to do now is the neck that is going to hold the head. And again, as you can see, it has a cone shape, and on the inside we're going to insert a cocktail stick, and then we're gonna put it at the top of the cake, as you can see. And we're going to work on it to make sure that this piece of neck is going to be nice and glued onto the body. And then we're going to cut the cocktail stick as it is too long, and therefore we can insert the head. On top of the head we're going to add 2 horns, and one is smaller and the other one is a little bit taller and slimmer. And again, both of them are going to have a kind of cone shape. So let's put them onto the head like this. And here at the front of the cake, I still wasn't sure what to do, because first I thought that here we could put the neck, but then didn't look right to me. So I've actually added some more piece of fondant, and with the butter I've tried to hide this part and make it all nice and smooth. Finally, we need to add the hair all around it, and to do so I've added more fondant all around it and also on the head. Starting from a bowl, I'm going to flatten it all of it and then put it at the back. Really careful, as your cake at the moment is really fragile. What we're gonna do now is to draw lots of lines so that this part is going to look like more like hair. However, we're going to add some more pieces, as it wouldn't be nice if we leave it like this. So what we want to do is to roll some fondant and then cut lots of long triangles, and then again draw on top of them lots of lines to make it look like hair. And then we're going to add these small pieces at the bottom, at the top of the head, and when you add them at the end, you want to give them a little bit more of a kind of motion, so it's going to look nicer and it's going to look more alive. At the end, one more thing that I noticed of the dragoon is that it has lots of lighter lines painted all on top of it. So we're going to start from the tail, and then we're going to go all over the body as well, using always the same light color that I have. I'm going to add more shades on the hair as well, but I'm going to use different colors as well, and I'm going to use purple as well, which is going to look nicer as well. The more shades that you use, the better. And then lastly, I'm going to use the blue, which is quite nice and I really like it. I couldn't understand very well what kind of drawings on the horns, however I think this is what I could see. So they're kind of half circles or something like that, which are painted with white gel paste as well. And using a long strip of fondant, we're gonna cut it like waves, and then we're gonna put it at the back of the cake. And finally, and this is true, it is final, we got nothing else to do. However, it was been really nice to do all this dragon. It was something different for me. And then, as I was going to say, we're going to paint it with purple as well, just the outline of this part of the dragon. If you enjoyed this video, you definitely don't want to miss my Disney playlist. And also don't forget to subscribe and to activate the bell so that next time there's a new video out, you're going to be notified. And that's all for today. See you next time. Bye bye.